Hello everyone, I'm Rochelle Chernowski.
And I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of October 17th, 18th, and 19th.
On today's show, it's a debilitating disease, one that develops slowly and gets worse over time. We're talking about Alzheimer's, and it's the most common form of dementia, accounting for nearly 80% of dementia cases. But coming up next week, there's a way that you can help put an end to this life-changing illness. We'll explain.
But first, a classic murder mystery is on tap for the Sunday matinee in the Grand Cypress Room. Alfred Hitchcock's 1954 film, Dial M for Murder, starring Grace Kelly and Ray Millard, will take to the big screen starting at 2:30.
On Monday, don't miss out on the Shell Point Computer College's 4-session course, Windows 8, a beginner's tutorial. The class is being instructed by Joe Kramer of Lakewood on 4 consecutive Mondays beginning October 20th in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. Windows 8 is the newest version of Microsoft Windows, and Joe will lead you through the hands-on learning by using the computers in the Computer Teaching Center. The class is $16 and a flash drive and sign-ups are required.
Also next week, a very important topic that continues to make headlines every day: child sex trafficking. It's an issue that affects people worldwide, and Shell Point will take an in-depth look at the problem with some very special guests, including one person who was a victim and 2 people that are working to prevent others from becoming victims. Look inside this month's Shell Point Life magazine for more details on this week-long program taking place right here at Shell Point.
Another event that you'll want to take part in happens next Saturday, October 25th in downtown Fort Myers. The Walk to End Alzheimer's will bring awareness to the disease that affects more than 5 million Americans.
Program specialist Emily Reese with the Florida Gulf Coast chapter of the Alzheimer's Association recently stopped by to tell us more about this event.
I'm Mary Franklin with the Health Connection, and I hope you have your running shoes all laced up because we're heading down to Centennial Park on Saturday, October 25th to join the crowd for a walk to end Alzheimer's. The court pickup's going to start bright and early for this wonderful cause. We'll pick up on the island at 7:30. 7:40 Woodlands, and 7:50 Eagles Preserve. And I'm here today with Emily Reese, the program specialist. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Well, I know that your program and you are as bright as your t-shirt. You're always a breath of fresh air every time I get to see you, and you have a passion for what you do. Tell me a little bit about your organization.
Well, the Alzheimer's Association is a twofold mission. One mission is to end the disease through research and finding more effective treatments and ultimately finding a cure.
Okay.
The second fold mission is to provide support and services to those presently affected by this disease. We're there in the community to provide the support, but then we're there nationally to find a cure and advocate for services.
I love that you're here, right here in Southwest Florida as well, and that you're a tool and an advocate for people living right here. That's important. Yes. Now, your walk that day, it is such a small town community spirit that day. Shell Point will be there. We will have a booth, and we have made all of our donations through the community thrift store, which we're very honored to do. But there'll be some other companies there too, so our residents can walk around and visit some booths before the walk.
Yes, and even during the walk, if a resident does not care to walk, it's a great activity and opportunity at that time to visit the different booths too.
Okay.
Yes.
And your walk, I love it because it's not this high-pressured walk.
No.
It's 2.5 miles roughly.
Actually, a little less than that.
Okay.
Yes, and we usually set up an early exit for those that care to use it.
Right.
And it's a very leisurely stroll. It's not a power walk. No. The whole purpose of the walk is to get the community out there together so that we raise awareness and also reduce stigma attached to having a diagnosis of a memory disorder.
I know in the we've participated in the last several years, but I've always enjoyed the walk because I've gotten to talk to other professionals in the field or family members, and there's always family members that are walking in memory or in honor of someone that's affected by Alzheimer's right now. Very emotional.
It is, and we all have our reasons to walk, and as you say, many times it's in memory of, or they're walking for someone actively affected at this time. It is a family event. You will see children there. Usually my grandchildren participate.
My daughter there on her scooter every year, yes.
And all the way up to certainly our seniors, yes. And we love having Shell Point's participation support.
Well, we enjoy it too. It will be residents and employees participating, and all the residents, when you sign up, you'll be able to get a Shell Point Cares t-shirt. Wonderful. And so we will be there as one solid team this year, and we're looking forward to participating.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Join this wonderful, great cause. Sign up at either service desk. We're taking the bus down there. We're leaving bright and early in the morning at 7:30 on Saturday, October 25th. But if you wanted to drive yourself and meet us there, you'll see the big Shell Point bus and the Shell Point tent. That's where we'll be gathering before the walk. And you can meet us there if you wanted to get some errands done afterwards or spend some time downtown Fort Myers. You're more than welcome to do that. Well, I'm Mary Franklin with the wonderful Health Connection program, and Emily Reese, thank you for being out here today. Make it a happy and healthy day.
Thanks, Mary and Emily. A great event for a very worthwhile cause.
Coming up, we're going to replay some of the best stories from earlier this week on Shell Point Today. But before we do that, let's cover all of this weekend's happenings, Academy news, menus, and church news.
Hello, all out there. I'm Bev Chanley, and this is Jill Aldrink, and we're here with the weekend edition of the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. At 8 o'clock, we're going to start out with the men's match play doubles tennis at the tennis courts. The Stamp Ministry volunteers will be in the stamp room on the island at 8:15. 8:30 to 11:30, we have the marketplace. That's going on in the administration courtyard. Don't forget to get up there to check out what's for sale. At 9:30, we have canasta and samba card games going on at the Woodland Commons. 10 o'clock is the time for a day respite at the Arbor at the community room. 10 o'clock, we have a men's match play doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. The Inquiring Minds group will be in the Manatee room at 10:15. Now we're going to jump to the afternoon activities for a 12:30 mixed progressive bridge game. That's in the game room of the Woodlands. 1:15 is always busy. We have a couple activities today. We have advanced table tennis in the Tarpon room. We also have the quilters in the Osprey room. Our model train room is open from 1:30 to 3:30 today. Also at 1:30 we have Vespers in the Arbor. 2 o'clock we have bid euchre in the Sable room of the Woodlands. And our water volleyball group will be out bouncing and jumping around in the Life Quest Aquatic Center at 2:15. 2:30, we have Latin size in the Health Club. Vespers will be at the community room of King's Crown at 2:30. And then at 3:30, we have Vespers at the Springs. Our last activity for Friday is 6:45 game night at the Resident Activities Center. Now Jill is going to tell you what's happening on Saturday.
Well, we start the morning at 8 o'clock with Adopt a Road, and then meet in the administration courtyard before they head out. Also at 8 o'clock is pickleball at the pickleball courts. And our final 8 o'clock event is round robin doubles tennis at the tennis courts. The men's doubles tennis starts at 9:30 and the women's doubles at 9:30 as well. At 9:45, duplicate bridge meets in the Manatee room. And at 10:15, head out to the Garden Apartments pond to watch the Model Yacht Sailing Club sail the boats. At 1 o'clock, we have the chess club in the library lounge in the activity center. Another 1:15 activity is Scrabble, also taking place in the library lounge. Also at 1:15, table tennis will be set up in the Tarpon room, and that is available all weekend unless otherwise noted. At 3:15, basic line dancing in the health club. And our final Saturday event is duplicate bridge in the Manatee room at 6:30. Here's Bev to tell you what's happening on Sunday.
Thanks, Jill. At 9 o'clock, we have Christian Life Studies, both in the game room of the Woodlands, and at the Village Church. At 10:15, we have the morning worship service at the Village Church. And then we're going to jump all the way to 3:15 in the afternoon with the ballroom line dancing for beginners. That's held in the Health Club on the island. Our last activity is the 6:15 evening service at the Village Church. Well, we wish you a very wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here next week.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Friday and the rest of the weekend. At 1 o'clock Friday, we have Making Greeting Cards with Print Shop in the Computer Center at the Woodlands. Next week, we have a lot of new classes I want to tell you about. On Monday, we have HD TV Possibilities with the iPad. Bruce Findlay of Sundial is our instructor. And we have Global Child Sex Trafficking with Laura and Carl Ralston. We also have a computer college class, Windows 8, with Joe Kramer of Lakewood, and Russia Under the Tsars, this time Ivan the Terrible and Peter the Great, with Seth Mandel of Teledora. On Tuesday, Professor Adrian Kerr returns with Stanford Raffles. And on Wednesday, a legacy seminar, a Collectibles Roadshow with Jane DeLisser and Timothy Stephenson. On Thursday, Blowin' with the Wind by James Irwin of Turban, and a Coffee with a Neighbor, Living the History of the Computer with Paul Neighbors of Rosemont. We have a computer college class, Facebook, with Meg Singer of Teledora, and a technology class using FaceTime on the iPhone and the iPad. This is with Penny Modridge of Nautilus and Bruce Findlay of Sundial. Then on Friday, to round out the work, smartphones with the Apple iPhone, Bruce Findlay, Sundial.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter on Friday is seafood cakes with vegetable rice and green beans. The dinner special is the seafood buffet for $15.95, and the soup of the day is New England clam chowder. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a barbecue pork sandwich with coleslaw for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are lamb chops for $22.95 or Florida lobster for $18.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, the special is a seafood salad croissant with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is artichoke chicken with scalloped potatoes and mixed vegetables for $8.25. The dinner special in the Palm Grill on Saturday is prime rib for $19.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Sunday brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, the special is fresh fruit with cottage cheese, sliced tomato, and a hamburger patty for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25, and the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Greetings and welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm here with our pastor, Andy Hawkins, and we are so looking forward to this weekend, Andy.
We are.
We've been talking about it for a while. We have some very special guests that will be with us, Carl and Laura Ralston.
That's right.
And New. Tell us a little bit about their journey and their story.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. I first met Carl when I was up in Morgantown because we were involved in a district of other churches in our denomination, and he was actually the president of the Alliance Men's Group. But in that particular time, he was a businessman. And, doing the things that businessmen do, but having a great heart for the Lord and certainly a great heart to support the kinds of ministries that we were involved in. And somewhere along during that time period, the Lord really captured not only his heart, but his imagination. He was going on a short-term mission trip into Southeast Asia, and then became acquainted while he was there with the sex trade, which is pervasive in so many parts of the world, and particularly there. And then his imagination was captured by the story of New, a young woman who had basically come to faith in Christ through various ministry activities, but then had her family sell her virginity essentially. Into the sex trade, and that was an astonishing breakthrough with him, and he became invested in it. Both he and Laura then transformed their lives actually to focus on this particular ministry.
He sold his business, and he promised the Lord that he would do everything that he could do to combat this crisis. We are especially privileged that New, who is the young lady that inspired this whole ministry, is going to be with them. And she will be part of our time together.
That's right.
So on Sunday morning, Carl will be sharing a little bit about New's story and how that inspired this ministry. And then on Sunday night, he will be sharing how this ministry has gone global and grown over the course of time, and what is happening in various parts of the world through Remember New homes for children. They really concentrate on the prevention aspect. I don't want anybody to miss this opportunity, so we certainly invite you to join us Sunday morning at 10:15, Sunday night at 6:15, and then there will be various events through the first part of the week as well. Monday Academy class down in the Grand Cypress Room at 1 o'clock. Tuesday evening, 7:15 back in the church, and Wednesday morning at the church, and that's followed by a lunch. Ticket is required, but it is complimentary. Please join us for as many of these opportunity events as you can, and then have a wonderful day.
Now, a look back at some of the best stories from the past week.
The Pavilion's Director of Long-Term Care, Sherry Brown, talked with Rehabilitative Services Manager CJ Gulata about some additions to the therapy program at the Pavilion and how they'll benefit you.
Hello, I'm Sherry Brown, Director of Long-Term Care and the licensed administrator in the Larson Pavilion. I am so excited to be here today with Christine Gulata, CJ, also known as CJ, the Director of our therapy programs. And we have some really exciting new programs, new certifications that we would like to share with you. So, CJ, talk to me a bit about what's happening in therapy and the most recent certifications.
Okay, well, I'm very excited to say that, first of all, for our speech therapist, she is now certified in a program called LSVT Loud. That is a program that's specific for Parkinson's and sometimes other neurological disorders.
And LSVT stands for?
Lee Silverman Voice Therapy. And it's a special protocol. It's 16 visits total, 4 times a week for 4 weeks. But the research shows that there's good outcomes for up to 2 years after on voice quality. So we're very excited to bring that to our program and to the residents of Shell Point.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to more opportunities, other residents in the pavilion, and their quality of speech and their communications capability.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about another certification that has recently been acquired.
Well, I'm also aquatherapy certified. This is a new certification achieved this summer. It is a test that I had to pass in order to indicate that I am able to deliver aquatic therapy and understand aquatic therapy to the standards of the industry. So safety, treatment implementation, and program development.
And I know you've been having a lot of success in the pool.
Yes, we've been able to share a few stories of success with Shell Point, and we continue to see great results with pain relief, with strengthening, with people getting back into mobility, and it's really exciting to be able to see them continue on in the new pool.
It is exciting to see people progress, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And we have some new opportunities that we look forward to in our programming.
Yes.
Is there any to be forthcoming that you'd like to allude to?
Yes, I will be attending a conference in Nashville, listening to a seminar that is put on by a physical therapist who has done some specialized programming just for long-term care. And I am hoping to get some really exciting program for the pavilion related to aquatic therapy after that conference. I'm already working on a couple of things, but I'm really excited to keep it moving along.
Well, any new programs that we develop are always for the benefit of our residents, and you can see in CJ the excitement that she brings not only to aquatherapy but to all of our rehab program. It's catching, and a wonderful team effort in finding ways for functional improvements for our residents.
Thank you.
So I'm really proud of that, CJ. So if you're a new resident or you've been here at Shell Point and you have some questions about programming in rehab or in other parts of the Larson Pavilion, we're actually going to be conducting a special informational event on October 23rd, which is a Thursday, beginning at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Getting the Scoop on the Larson Pavilion. We'll be sharing some wonderful Love Boat ice cream. And it's an RSVP request for this event. So if you're interested, please call Randa Lee at 415-5432 to put your reservation in. We'll look forward to seeing you then, and thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching us.
The refreshed and renewed church is open once again. Glenda Stephenson took us behind the scenes for a look at all of the renovations that took place over the last 5 months.
Hi, I'm here with Glenda Stephenson, church administrator here at the Village Church, and today Glenda is going to take us on a behind-the-scenes tour at all of the work that's been done.
But it's been a real nice upgrade to this space. One of the things that we did is expand the doorways, and we went from 4 narrower doors to 3 sets of doors, which allows easier access to the sanctuary. Okay. So walk with me as we go into the sanctuary, and we'll take a look
inside.
I think one of the first things that you realize as you walk through the space is we've got a new color palette, and it's a much warmer palette. We now have the gold tones on the walls and the blues throughout the carpet and chairs, and I think it has really refreshed our space. We are really happy with that.
Right, and the chairs I know are very comfortable to enjoy the service.
We tested a lot of chairs and we gathered a lot of opinions. Seating is one of those things that's very particular to the individual because we're all different sizes, different heights. So we tried to go with something that was middle of the road. We did pay to get an upgraded cushion, and we realized that our old chairs were pushing 20 years old at this point. They were pretty shot. So to have new chairs, new cushion, and all of that's really comfortable. We appreciate it. And Josh, as we come down the stairs, I want to point out our new handrails. We used to just have a simple board along here, and it was much harder to grab. So one of the improvements that we made was to replace these handrails with something that's more ADA compliant, easier to grab and hold on to, and hopefully that will be safer for all. As we come into the main sanctuary space, one of the things that I could point out is the beautiful wood trim that goes along the soffit all the way around the sanctuary. That's just added a really nice upgraded element to our space, and I love that. Blending the cherry wood with the oak wood throughout in a variety of ways.
And I know the lighting here is really dramatic. It's really well lit. New lights put in as well?
We did. We totally upgraded the electric, and that included new lighting throughout this space. Probably doubles the amount of lighting, but it's also given us much better control. We're able to dim now. We're able to do things in zones that we weren't able to do before. So that's a major upgrade for us.
So will that make it better for, I would imagine, concerts and other shows that we have in here?
It will. We've got much more flexibility, and that will be nice. We also added the sconce lighting on the sidewalls. That was not here before, which is just a nice decorative element.
Right, and something that I really appreciate, the audio and video booth up there was expanded.
It was. We had a crew that worked in a very tight space up there, and so we expanded that space by 8 feet and gives them much more movability in that small space to do all of the camera work, all of the sound, all the lighting work that gets done up there.
And I know a lot of upgrades here. We were talking about the wood and upgrades to the wood. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was done here?
Yeah, this is amazing, really, Josh. We had several of our guys in the wood shop that invested over 200 hours in refurbishing all of our altar furniture.
So all residents? This was all
yes, this was all done by residents. They added the cherry panels into our altar rails, our pulpit, our communion table, modesty rails up there, redid the oak so that it was cleaned up and looked new again. And we are so appreciative of the time that they donated to this project.
Great, great.
We've added a new floor to the stage, and perhaps one of the most noticeable differences is the back wall of the stage. Wood sound diffusers have been added to that back wall, and we experienced Sunday the difference that makes in our sound. This space was much more alive than what we've had in the past. Beautiful new cross on that backstage. We love that. We anticipate that will be a focal point for us for a variety of things throughout the course of the year.
Wow, this looks great in here, Glenda.
Josh, this is our library, and I can tell you our librarians are very excited about the makeover that they got in here. We stripped the space, we painted walls, we built all new bookshelves, so they're new and they're consistent, which is nice. Put carpet on the floor, and it's given them a bright, very new, refreshed space for the library.
Yeah, it looks great.
Josh, we're standing in what we use as the chapel now, and we knew for a long time that our sound and our audio in this space was deficient. So part of the upgrades that we've done is to upgrade the audio in this space as well as in the hospitality room. And I think as we have memorial services in here and CLS classes, we will really appreciate those upgrades because we'll be able to hear so much better.
Right.
As we leave the chapel and come across here, you weren't here before, but we used to have coat racks here that were kind of misshapen and falling apart. We've built in new closet space here, and it looks so much nicer.
Great. I know the talk around Shell Point leading up to the church reopening was this kitchen.
This kitchen was really sad. And so it was one of my priorities when we tackled this project was to do some upgrades here, and I'm thrilled with the way it's turned out. We put some commercial refrigerators and a commercial freezer in. We do a lot of service, and we're now able to accommodate platters in the fridge and things that we couldn't do before. We now have a commercial coffee pod so that we can make plenty of coffee for events, and it's easily done. And that's nice. We've got an ice maker under the counter here. We never had ice available in this space. And when you're serving people as much as we do, that's very appreciated. We have a nice backsplash treatment here, which really dresses up the space. We put in bigger, deeper sinks so that they're more usable and flexible for all the events that we do, and we're so very happy with it. We also have added counter space over here. We've mounted a microwave, and so this space now has a usability that it did not have before, and our ladies are delighted. One of the things that I'm really happy with too is the fact that we've got a couple movable carts here, and they're on wheels. We can move them around, gives us additional counter space to work wherever we need to do it. If we needed to move them out into the main space for whatever reason, we could do that as well. So we've got two of those, and it gives us more flexibility as well.
That's good, very good.
Josh, besides the main level, we also redid this upper level, which meant all of the balcony space has gotten new carpet and new chairs, and we've taken the new paint, the new carpet into our offices, and it's totally refreshed our workspaces.
Well, Glenda, thank you very much for the tour of the refreshed and renewed sanctuary. Everything looks terrific, and I know Shell Point residents are going to be pleased over the next many years with what they have here.
Speaking of Shell Point residents, we're so grateful for the way they've supported this project, both with their flexibility while we've had to be out of the space, their giving, their prayer support. It's been wonderful to watch. Thank you for coming and joining us today, and come back anytime.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Medicare open enrollment is underway from now until December 7th. Here's some useful information that may help you in the enrollment process.
Hello everyone, I'm Steve Menier, Vice President of Healthcare Services here at Shell Point. Today I'm really pleased to be joined by Joni Reagan. Joni is our Medicare Billing Manager, and of course their offices are located on the second floor of the Medical Center building. And Joni, good to have you here with us. We're going to talk today about Medicare Advantage plans. And I thought, first of all, it would be helpful if you tell me, what is a Medicare Advantage plan?
Well, Medicare Advantage plan is a plan that actually replaces Medicare. If you choose one of these Medicare Advantage plan, you don't have Medicare anymore. And in fact, one of the really important things to know is that if you have certain problems, like if you have kidney dialysis or end-stage renal disease, or if you have cancer or anything like that, then you get dropped from the Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare, regular traditional Medicare picks you up, and then you don't have a secondary at that time because Medicare Advantage plans don't allow secondaries.
Okay, but for the simple layperson like me, an Advantage plan, like you said, replaces traditional Medicare. Is it more expensive, less expensive?
Well, it's generally less expensive. But it's not always the best. It's not always the best, especially at Shell Point. We're not in network with any of the plans for the pavilion. So if you need to go into the pavilion or have therapy, we're not in network with any Medicare Advantage plans.
Have you found when you've been discussing plans with people that once they get sick, the plan, what they have to pay becomes very expensive?
Yes, when they, we have a lot of people that come to my staff and want to change back to Medicare from an Advantage plan once they're in the pavilion. But then many times it's too late.
So we're coming into the fall season, and that is traditionally the time for this Medicare open enrollment. When does that start and when does that end?
It starts October 15th and ends December the 7th.
Okay.
This is the time to make your change. If you want to, if you're already in Medicare and you want to stay there, you don't have to do anything. But if you're in an Advantage plan and you want to go back to Medicare, or if you are in Medicare and you want to go to an Advantage plan, you can do so at that time.
So from what I understand, if you take a Medicare Advantage plan, you may have some fairly significant savings on the premium during the year, but again, if you get ill, it can become very expensive very quickly, correct?
Yes, that's correct. If basically, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, if you're sick, if you're not sick, it's good. It's not bad to have. It's not the end of the world. But most of us don't have a crystal ball and can't tell when we might break a leg or break a hip or have cancer or something. So you never know what you have.
I know that when people come into the nursing pavilion, if they're covered under normal Medicare, traditional Medicare, they have the opportunity not to have to pay anything for the first 20 days they're in the pavilion, and then there's a copay for the 21st through the 100th day. It's my understanding some of these Advantage plans only pay for the first 10 days or 12 days, and then there is a substantial copay.
That's true. If you have an Advantage plan, you go into the pavilion because we're not in network. They do have large copays. It's like $200 a day, so it can run into thousands of dollars if you want to go into the pavilion.
Oftentimes, too, as I understand, the Advantage plans are essentially managed by someone other than our physicians here at Shell Point. There might be a nurse practitioner that comes and oversees and watches the person. And of course, with any type of plan like that, they want to get you out of anything that's costing them very much money pretty quickly. So you may not have the same opportunity for the length of service in the pavilion with an Advantage plan as you would with traditional Medicare. So I always kind of get tickled because for me it's not really a Medicare Advantage plan, it's really a Medicare Disadvantage plan. One of the reasons, as you know, that we've not gone to having a contract with any of the Advantage plans in the pavilion is that the offer that they provided to us is substantially less, 25 to 30% less than what normal Medicare would pay, which is just not, it's not favorable to Shell Point. It's not good for us from a business standpoint. I know that you had a recent seminar presentation with a number of folks here at Shell Point. Can you tell me about some of the questions people ask at that presentation?
Well, we talked a lot about the Advantage plans and traditional Medicare, and people were asking, what if I have insurance through my employer? Well, the insurance through their employer is not included in this discussion here about Medicare Advantage because many times those plans are better. And they don't have all the restrictions. Sometimes they have in and out-of-network benefits. You have to read your book or bring it into us, and we can help you decipher it.
Okay. So it's like anything at all that you want to look at when you're here at Shell Point from a contract standpoint, anything that's an insurance product, you want to have someone in the Medicare billing office really look at that with you, especially these Advantage plans. And again, the time frame for them to be open to folks is from October
the 15th through December the 7th.
Okay, and a lot of folks are going to see full-page ads in the newspaper. I know that in the past there has been phone solicitation. Unfortunately, we're aware of some vendors who have even gotten in and gone door to door. So you want to be very careful what you look at, and again, have the Medicare billing office look at it with you. Joni, if someone is looking at the program and wants to really talk to Medicare billing office personnel, what's the phone number they should call?
454-2201. Any one of my 3 staff members would be more than glad to help you. You can walk in anytime. You don't have to make an appointment, but you can make an appointment. And we would be more than happy to help you understand anything you have. If you don't know what you have, that's fine. Just come in and we'll help you.
Well, as we wrap this up, let me just once again emphasize to everybody that any of these plans need to be examined by someone in the Medicare billing office before you make that decision to purchase such a plan. So we trust that folks will avail themselves of that opportunity that you're putting out there during this open enrollment time.
Well, and that's that's an advantage of being a Shell Point resident, that we have the people here that can help you.
Right. Great. Joni, thanks so much for the positive information you provided for us, and I trust people will take you up on your offer to give you a call. Again, the phone number?
454-2201.
Great. Thanks so much, Joni. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Bye.
The Hearing Enrichment Group will begin meeting next Wednesday, October 22nd, in the Manatee Room on the island. Here to tell us more about this group are Mary Franklin and Caitlin Caro.
I'm Mary Franklin, here today with Case Manager Caitlin Caro to talk about a new support group that is forming. It is the Hearing Enrichment Group, and the formation meeting for this new group will take place on Wednesday, October 22nd at 1:15 p.m. in the Manatee Room. Caitlin, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
First off, I know you know many of the residents. They're the residents that you care for on a daily basis and get to see. But there's a whole lot of residents that have never had the opportunity to meet you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I have been at Shell Point for 3 years now. I started working at the King's Crown building at first, and I was there for 2 years as a resident relations rep. I became a case manager about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it since, and got to know a lot of nice residents outside of Kings Crown and the independent living areas.
Well, we're very thankful for all that you do here at Shell Point. You're going to add another line to your job description, and you are taking over the Hearing Enrichment Group. And I actually, a couple months ago, received a letter from a resident saying that the request to have a support group for those that are having hearing issues. And I called Dr. Clark and I said, Dr. Clark, what do you think? And she said, Mary, yes, this is a large popular program or popular problem here at Shell Point, and a support group would be fabulous. And so you're going to be the employee that is overseeing the support group. And since we're just newly forming, we're also looking for a volunteer that would help you. What would they be doing?
They will be helping with getting people checked in at the meetings, also keeping attendance of who are the folks that are interested in the group, and just communication in general, I believe, between me and those residents.
Great. We're looking for the support group to meet on a monthly basis. Who should plan on attending this support group?
Anybody, pretty much, with any kind of hearing loss, or those people that are living with people that have hearing loss or impairment.
Right, because there's no reason to continue to fight it, right? There is support, there is tools that you can use beyond just a hearing aid. There's actually training methods and so forth as well, correct?
That's correct. Hearing loss actually will affect a lot of different areas of one's life, and I do happen to know that because I happen to have a hearing loss too,
right?
And I've had it from a very fairly young age, in my 20s, so it has affected me, and I think that any kind of resources or any type of help for people would be a great thing. So I think it's going to be a great group.
Your personal touch will really add to this group and to them being able to, you'll be able to educate them and sympathize with them.
Correct.
And I think that the educational tool will be really impacted by your experience. I know too that there's different devices you can put in your home, different types of alarm clocks and doorbells and so forth. So even tools around your house to make life a little bit simpler.
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, that will be good. So it's going to be important for anybody with any type of hearing issue to come to this formation meeting and kick things off. Share the ideas. The first meeting is going to be a brainstorming meeting, right? Right? Okay. Well, if you're interested in joining this group, mark your calendar. It will be on Wednesday, October 22nd at 1:15 p.m. in the Manatee Room. I'm Mary Franklin along with Caitlin Caro. Have a wonderful day.
The Pavilion Auxiliary's Bakeless Bake Sale was once again a big success, and it's all thanks to you, the residents of Shell Point. Here to tell us more about one of the committees that benefits from the fundraiser is Terry Kolath.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here speaking with Joan Morgan in the auxiliary room in the Larson Pavilion on the island at Shell Point. And Joan is our chairman of our mail committee. Thanks for joining me, Joan.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
Now, we would like to share with Shell Point, first of all, the fact that we have this amazing committee and the mail gets delivered, and a little bit about how that happens. You're chairperson. How long have you been chairing this committee?
I've been the chairman for 5 years, and this committee, the purpose, of course, is to get mail to our residents every day. One of the things that is the nicest for them is when they get a personal card or something else in the mail, and we bring that to them. The sorters are here every day in the morning, approximately around 9:30, and they sort the mail, and shortly after that, the deliverer comes in. And the deliverer is the person that not only brings the mail to the individual resident, but the person that comes to greet them. So that's what we do with both of those jobs.
So as always, the auxiliary does a specific service, but they bring a lot more
That's
to
right.
the resident.
That's right.
Now I'm speaking with Marilyn Brownell of Royal Bonnet. And Marilyn is what we call a sorter. What does it mean to sort the mail? There must be mountains of it, Marilyn.
I separate the large mail, like the magazines and so forth, and find the residents. I put the numbers on there and put them in the cart. And then with the other mail, first of all, I take out anything that is first-class mail because that has to be listed in a book. And the other mail, I just put the room numbers on them. And in the cart, I put them in the cart according to which floor they're on. It's only a couple of hours, really.
A couple of hours every Wednesday you put in to make sure this mail goes where it's supposed to.
Hopefully.
That's wonderful. Now I'm talking with Warren Atkinson of Parkwood, and he is what we call a mail deliverer. Hi, Warren.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How long have you been delivering mail at Shell Point?
About 5 years.
5 years, so you know how to do it.
Oh yeah, well I delivered mail for 38.
Really?
And when Joan played Mahjong with my wife, she said, I need somebody to deliver the mail. That's how I got here.
That's very, so we have a very experienced mail deliverer.
Very interesting.
I bet it is. So you come into this auxiliary room, you pick up the cart that the sorters have gotten all ready for you,
Correct.
And what do?
I go out and I do the first, second, third, and fourth floor.
In order?
In order.
So people kind of are ready to expect you at certain times.
Well, the second floor, we just give it to the desk because they don't want us in with the people, you know, so, which is fine.
Sure. And so first floor, you actually go into people's homes, knock on the door and say, mail?
Yes, yes, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there are friends and neighbors who are doing rehab. It could be anybody that you'll be walking into, right?
Well, you know what's nice about it? Some of them don't see anybody. They don't have nobody coming in. And when you say I have a mail for you or a letter for you, they light up, you know, just like that, you know. So it's what makes it interesting.
Kind of like Santa Claus.
You know, they go, how's the weather out there? And some of them don't say anything.
Yeah. Thank you so much for what you do. Well, Joan, it's been wonderful getting to know a couple of your volunteers, getting to know a little bit more about Joan Morgan, the person who runs the whole thing, and to also get a feel for how well this operation works. And if we're here in the pavilion recuperating, or if we live in this building, we know that not only is our mail going to come to us, but it's going to come from some pretty nice people.
You're right about that.
Thank you.
Resident Ruth Duber of Periwinkle has another fabulous dish for us today, so let's head inside her kitchen and find out what's cooking.
Hello, I'm Ruth Duber, and this really is what's cooking at Shell Point. However, I don't have my normal apron on, the red one, but I do have a daughter here. This is my next to the youngest, and we have sibling rivalry going on because our son Tom has been on, and Jane was on a couple weeks ago, and now we have Sue.
My turn.
That's your turn, yeah. And Sue is from Hawaii. You want to tell a little bit how long you've lived there?
Well, lived there over 30 years. Never really thought I would end up staying there, but Hawaii is a hard place to move from. We like the outdoors and a lot of the vegetation, very similar to what you have here at Sanibel. But yeah, it's a beautiful place to live and not a bad place when you go on vacation and you like to go home. Then you know that.
All right, but it's hard to find a place to go.
And it's so far away.
Well, it is so far away. I know we don't get to see each other very often, but you are going to make something, I think, very tropical and very good. And I'm going to let her get started with your salsa. And we're going to put the salsa on top of tilapia. So I'm going to go ahead and get the fish ready while she's starting with this. Okay, it's all yours.
Good. So this is a very fresh salsa that is popular in a lot of the fine restaurants in Hawaii. You can do this on top of grilled fish or chicken. Today we're going to, like Mom said, we're going to saute some tilapia. We like to use mahi-mahi. I noticed you had some at your Publix. So whatever fresh fish you like. And it's basically a topping, a salsa that can be used not only to top fish or chicken. I've even been known to put that on a baked potato.
Oh my goodness,
so
is that
today
good?
We're going to actually use pineapple for the salsa, but I have a beautiful mango tree at home that at certain seasons has dropped 50 mangoes a day. So.
That's why I get the calls from you, Mom. What else can I do with mangoes? This is the fish we're going to use today. It's tilapia. And I've cut it into smaller portions so it doesn't take as long to cook. And actually, I'm going to use salt and pepper, and then dip it in egg, and then panko crumbs. Okay, go ahead, Sue.
Alrighty, so we're going to, like I said, this is a tropical salsa. The ingredients, we have pineapple, which is kind of the star of our show today. You can see this cute little decoration we've made out of the pineapple top, kind of a nice impromptu thing for a party. We have some chopped yellow pepper, cilantro. Now, of course, any of these ingredients you can do more or less of based on your own preference. Tomatoes, which is kind of the staple of almost any salsa. And then we have some sweet onion that we have also chopped finely here. And then last but not least, we're going to dress it with just a little bit of the lemon juice to kind of keep it moist. Our pepper, this is a jalapeno pepper, fresh from Publix. I have left, this is the only thing I have left to chop here. And you know, when you're working with peppers, of course I've cut this in half and removed the seeds. It's actually the seeds that are the hottest part. And make sure when you're working with any pepper that you wash your hands real well when you're finished. You don't want to rub your eyes or you can also use the jalapenos that you find in a jar, the kind that you might serve on a nacho, and then we're going to mix everything together. So we are ready to assemble our salsa. The tomatoes, I like to use a tomato that is a bit firm. You don't want them mushy. Of course, you really, the best part of the tomato is the firm part, so you can actually leave some of those seeds. And the nice thing about this too is that it's just a beautiful color. Very, very flavorful, very fresh. And again, it's a salsa, so whatever's left, you know, can be used even just to dip chips in for a party. Or we have mango salsa. When mango is in season, my family will go through a large bowl of mango salsa in one football game. So it's a favorite. I'm not going to add quite as much onion. This can be modified to suit your own taste, but you can see we've got nice color going. And we'll add our little bit of spice here. Now, I would ordinarily add a little more than that because my family likes a little more heat. And some salsas will call for a vinegar. I like just a plain, fresh lemon juice is what I have found. And believe it or not, this is just one lemon here. So we got a very juicy lemon. I'm gonna add about half and let's see how we're doing. You don't want it
You want to
soupy.
tell them the secret I told you about getting a juicy lemon?
Yeah.
I did put the lemon in the microwave for just a few seconds and rolled it around and then put it back in the microwave so it's a little bit warm. And that makes it really juicy. So
there we go. Yeah, new trick. I thought while the salsa is sort of marinating and Mama is fixing the fish that I would show you a little trick. For the outrigger canoe. And you put it in there. And then like to serve that with toothpicks. Oops. And then you can just take your, shall I eat it? Wow.
Is it that good?
That's a really good pineapple I'm kind of a
from
pineapple
Publix?
snob coming
I
from
know you
Hawaii.
are. I was afraid we
But
wouldn't
it's
get a
quite
good one. So.
Those are actually very big bites. But
Okay, that's okay.
you
We
can cut
have
your
that.
outrigger however you want. The kids really enjoy that. This is the breading that we're using on the fish today, and it's called panko. It can be found in the Oriental section.
No, actually, they have it in with the flour now because it's so popular.
Yeah,
So.
so it's actually a Japanese breading that's a little bit thicker and flakier than a breadcrumb. It gives the fish a little bit more of a crunch on the outside.
So I added more oil. Turn the pretty side up there. Okay, Sue, you'll put your salsa on, some in the middle and then on top.
Alrighty. I think what makes this salsa special is it's got the
Do you want a
citrus.
slotted spoon maybe, or are you okay?
I think we're good. We'll use this little
Okay.
scooper. It's the combination of the citrus and the spice and a little bit of onion, and like I say, you can adapt this to your own personal preference. So there we go.
Put some on that one too. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bite of the fish and some of the salsa. Whoop! Cut that one. It's just perfect. You try it. It's just perfect with the fish.
Good.
It's wonderful.
Let's scoop a little. Good thing we have a whole bowl here, huh?
It's all falling apart. So okay. Yep. Well, we really like it. I'll put the directions for everything up on the website, and we hope you'll try it. And thank you for doing it with me, Sue.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
As we dash through the Florida sunshine toward the holidays, we want to remind you all about the great staff here at Shell Point and the wonderful gift the residents give the staff each year. Here with more on the Employee Christmas gift is Campaign Chairman Dick Wright.
Thank you for having me here today to talk about the Shell Point Employees Christmas Gift. It's really very important to the residents and to the employees. Imagine the difference cash can make if you years ago got some cash 1 week before Christmas. It's a big deal, and you can ask any one of the employees. Please do, just ask them, and you'll be really surprised how much they appreciate this and how important it is to them. And so far, we're very pleased with the response we're getting. The last day to give is Friday, December 5th. So put that on your calendar. Of course, you can give today or tomorrow. You don't have to wait till December 5th, but that's the last day. You know, this gift is our only tangible way to show our appreciation to the employees. They work for us all year long, 365 days, and we do not tip them because they can't accept tips and they can't accept gifts. Just think what they can do for us, what they do for us. They clean, they repair sidewalks and streets, they clean our bathrooms, they clean our kitchens, they work for us. They cut grass, they trim the bushes, they paint, they do windows. No one does windows, they do. They cook in the restaurants, they wash the pots and pans, they deliver the prescriptions right to our door. They keep our medical records and our appointments, medical appointments. At the pavilion, they do laundry, they change the beds, they take care of our clothing, they feed those that need feeding, push wheelchairs, and the employees here answer any question you may have at courtesy desk or at that number that does all, 454-2190. Just call with any question 24 hours a day, and they'll answer it for you and help you. They set up meeting rooms for us for all activities. For the shows and the major entertainment, they do the photos, they write articles for magazines such as Shell Point Life, papers such as the Weekly Reminder, and of course our own TV station right here. They drive us places with our engineers, electricians, mechanics, warehousemen. I can go on and on. Imagine we have 1,000 dedicated employees smiling at us all the time, 365 days a year. They're here to help us cope. Anything we need, we just ask. And once a year, everyone can give back to them. You can give back to them once a year. The smiles of Shell Point are something that is important to us all. It's an atmosphere that they develop here. Mostly the employees do, where they're smiling at us and waving at us and thanking us all the time. I've been to organizations or living situations like this in other areas and other states where they don't do that. And it's really a different atmosphere that you wouldn't want to live in. So if you've already given to the Christmas Fund for the employees, thank you very much. If you have not yet given, please consider things like toys, clothes, and Christmas trees, etc. Cost more than they ever did. Thank you for your generosity, and it is greatly appreciated by the employees. And it's nice to give. Thank you.
Well, that about does it for this week. We're glad you joined us for our show. Tune in again next week for more news and stories from around your community.
Until then, this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of October 17th, 18th, and 19th. I'm Rochelle Chernowski.
And I'm Dan Philgreen. From all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.